Record. Today's guest is Bonny Mark Alinga, and we're going to talk about his work in Mambali and Lira. Bonny Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself. First, let's start by telling me a little bit about your company that you
Thank you
have.
very much, David, for inviting me to be in this podcast. My name is Bonny Mark Alinga, and I'm from Uganda. I have started an entrepreneur. I've started a business that I've been running for almost 20 years now. Uh, the business is a ICT firm. It's a computer center, a cyber archive, and now blended with the agent banking and forex bureau. We have moved over the years. The idea of starting this school, the business was to get for me some income. At that point, I had not yet joined the university. I had dropped out of the university, and I was trying to get a way of living in a foreign location. Because I left my home ground to come and seek a refuge in eastern Uganda, where I had to start a secretariat bureau in 2009 and gradually moving into a big company now. Since then, I've given opportunity to very many youth to first get a computer literacy program. Normally I give orphan children opportunity to come and learn computer during holiday period. And over the years, we have trained over 60 orphans coming to gain knowledge from this business, beside the normal business operation. I think this came as a result of me going around the community, trying to understand what the needs is, and also relating their personal stories with me. And one of the amazing orphan that I often refers to as my first beneficiary of the project is called Silva. Now he's a medical doctor. His story was touching. At the age of 14, he had not yet even had opportunity to sleep on a proper bed because he grew up with a grandmother, whose grandmother at some point also chased him away from the house, and he was living in the neighborhood and trying to make a living from buying everything he does. Goes to rear kettles for people, then he's given food. Not until opportunity came in, somebody introduced him to a friend of mine to take him into the orphanage or home. And from there, this friend called Vincent actually also introduced Silva to me. And Silva became a very good friend. I offered him that opportunity. And as I speak, he's an amazing man. Every time I look at him and I look back where we started from, I realize this business was just God given. And that's why I actually named it Nisi Telecom, just to reflect in the name of the Lord that it is my banner and it gives me opportunity to elevate others. He elevated me, and I can also elevate others to live a better life. So from that business, I also went back to my community where I was also, I took off to seek refuge after the insurgency of the Lord's Resistance Army in northern Uganda. So when I started this business, the small income that I was raising from this business helped me to start that community school from scratch to where it is now. And opportunity that I think it has given more than 800 lives support through education and creating jobs to my community members and also other peer youth whom I grew up with, and currently giving professional teaching opportunity to over 23 teaching staff at the school. So that is the beginning of the genesis of my business in Bali and how I have journeyed through to even creating additional arms of the business, the charity arm of the school in my home village.
Why don't you tell me, your home village is in Lira, right?
Yes, Northern
Okay.
Uganda.
Tell us a little bit about the students that are there. What is their backgrounds? Are some of them refugees, or where do they come from?
Amazing. Most of my scholars, the students who comes to my school, Those who started the school, actually, some of them were child soldiers. I mean, children to the army officers who were killed during the insurgency. Most of them are actually orphan children. We have three categories of students we have at the school. We have 100% vulnerable and orphan children who we pick from the community uh, with the various backgrounds. Others resulted into from the war, from the effect of the war. Of course, the poverty level rose up in the region, and so many of these students do not have the opportunity to get a decent education or even support themselves at the school. Then the second category are those who have one parent. In Uganda, when a mother dies, the child is not fully an orphan because the dad is there. But sometimes the dad also who is there cannot afford because mostly predominantly the children survive more when the mothers are there. And when their mothers are not there, there is a way they either drop out of the school because mothers do fend for the family here and they provide the moral support for every child. And that category of single parent orphans are also there, whom we give them opportunity to pay a half of our tuition, which is about $150 every 3 months. Then there is this category, a small category of people who are able to pay the $300 or that we ask from the community, which constitute about 30% of our school population, to help us run the school and also feed the total orphans that are not able to support themselves at the school. So majority of the students are actually orphans and arising from the background of the war that ravaged the northern region of Uganda.
What percentage of your students actually live at the school, and do you have some that just attend from the community?
Apparently, we have about 70% of the total population living within the school.
Okay. I know that most people in the United States have no idea what the LRA is. You want to talk about that for just a minute, just to get some insight so that they can understand that.
Yeah, the Lord's Resistance Army, acronym NLRA, is actually a rebel group that was formed or started before I was even born. Because in 1986, that's when they started to really fight within the community of northern Uganda and killing and abducting children. One of the notable incidents was the massacre that took place in northern Uganda, particularly about 6 kilometers away from Lira city, where they killed over 300 people and were buried. And you come to Lira, opportunity gets you there. We have a monument where people were buried, and only the cemetery, you see a cemetery, but several lives were buried there just because of the Lord's Resistance Army. It's a movement, a civil movement that was trying to fight the current government because of injustices and also what they call the imbalance in the national cake. Northern Uganda being deprived of their opportunity to share equal rights or equal opportunity like any other part of the country do get. And of course, during that period, people had a lot of pronouncement in the West, where our president comes from, saying, okay, this is the Western fight to the northern Uganda because of the late Apollo Milton Obote, the first prime minister of Uganda, who actually got the independent in 1964. And I think that played a lot. The political war also played a lot in the civil war in northern Uganda. And that led to the 1986 insurgency that ravaged the northern Uganda for over 2 decades.
I know you have a lot of areas of unrest in the countries around northern Uganda. Do you get people from those countries coming into northern Uganda as well?
Apparently, we have actually South Sudan who are currently flooding in because there's currently an insurgency, civil war in South Sudan, which is immediate neighbor to Uganda and sharing a border with northern Uganda. And as I speak, actually, last week I was in Western Uganda, I mean, Northern Uganda, far north of the Nile region, where there is a border crossing to Uganda, and over 700 were fleeing to Uganda for refuge. And I had the opportunity to actually to meet them at the reception center. There's a camp in Uganda where we call the reception center. All the refugees from South Sudan comes and take refuge. So there is this civil war, and it is still affecting the northern Uganda as I speak, because we are harboring or we are accommodating those who are still fleeing from South Sudan to come and take refuge in northern Uganda.
Okay. Makes on a different track. Tell me a little bit about your work with the Wells Mountain Institute.
Our Wells Mountain Initiative saw my education in 2011. That's when I first began the relationship with the Wells Mountain Initiative. As a scholar, they offered me a scholarship to go back to the university. Remember, I dropped out of the university uh, after spending only a semester at the university because I couldn't afford. And I remember my grandfather had offered his one bull to be sold to take me to the university. In his wisdom, he actually thought by selling a bull would pay my university education. So I dropped off out of the university. Wells Mountain Initiative takes me over after several years of dropping out of the university and paid my university education. After obtaining my degree in 2014, I started volunteering with them as a mentor. They gave me a small micro grant of $900 to actually support my initiative. Then, as a result of implementing that small grant very well, they gave me a mentorship role within the organization. And later on in 2022, they gave me a job, a full-time job opportunity as their community development grants manager. And currently, I manage the micro grant and growth grant opportunities for their scholars and reviewing, supporting the scholars on a one-on-one coaching and moderating their proposals, educating them on how they can grow their initiative. Yeah.
A friend of mine, Bill Hall, is a member of my Rotary Club, and he mentioned that he does something similar to you, and he's just amazed by what you can do. I don't know if do you have any conversations with Bill, like on Zoom or anything like that?
Bill,
Hmm?
Bill,
Bill Hall.
Bill. Oh, Bill, we have not had a Zoom call with him yet, but he understands this project because the member of your Rotary Club actually funded the medical camp. I mean, the facility, the clinic, the school clinic, which is currently supporting both the school and the community. So, Bill, I had to share that story with Bill on an email, not on a Zoom call. I shared the story with Bill because he's a member of the Rotary Club, and I wanted to let you know the progress of the project as well. So, and of course, there's something that you may not know. The founder of Wells Mountain Initiative, Tom Wells, was a Rotarian, is a Rotarian. The parents were Rotarians, and I discovered that the entire family actually became Rotarians, including his own wife being a president of one of the Rotary clubs in New Jersey.
Okay, very interesting. I saw the name, and I don't really know a whole lot about it, so that's an interesting connection. So I made 2 trips to Uganda, and both times I met you, and I was so impressed with visiting your school. Now, how many students do you have at the school right now? I think there are around 600 on my last visit.
Yeah, currently we have actually 926
Wow.
students, both at the lower level and at the high school. Yes. With a total population, secondary school alone has 25, 23 teaching staff and 3 support staff, making 26 staff. Then the lower school level has got about 17 teaching staff and 7 support staff. So we currently have about close to 60 um, 60 community members, professional job opportunities created within the school.
Impressive. So where do the students go? What do they do after they graduate from your school?
Amazing. Once they graduate from my school, there are several layers of our graduation process. There are those who graduate from the lower primary to the secondary level. Those ones gets into the secondary school, our school still. Then those who graduate from the high school now, others do join the university, others join colleges, or maybe diploma or go for certificates. And currently, I have a testimony that the two of our founding scholars have actually been admitted into the universities. One is graduating with a bachelor's of law this December. Then the other one is graduating with Bachelor of Engineering also this very year. And one has just been admitted for bachelor's degree in education.
I know you recently completed your MBA degree. So what led you to go ahead and start that process?
Looking at my history and my background and my heart desire, my hope and my desire is to mentor, inspire lives, and inspire the youth and my followers. Like many people have played a key role, you, David, and the likes, so many others empowered me and inspired me to do amazing job into the community. And so my MBA certification was to give me a management and leadership ability to be able to create that environment where I can nurture the young people to also get to some level so that in future the ripple effects can be realized from a single person to a multiple of followers who are changing lives within the community. So that was primarily why I went to do my MBA at the university.
What are your future plans at this point? What's in store?
Amazing, I have a lot. One, I would like to actually transform the school, the secondary school, having a component of a vocational school or a college aspect of it, so that our scholars who are not able to proceed to the university can get hands-on skills that they can start with to actually uh, build on from there. After getting the secondary education, they can go into our vocational section and gain the skills and go back to make a living without necessarily waiting for opportunity elsewhere to join the university where they cannot afford. I intend if God blesses me with opportunity and support from well wishers, that I build a community hospital within the environment because I have seen one medical camp being hosted annually at the school serving over 600 community members. That created a new vision that if the school clinic can be elevated into a hospital or a health center for where community can access more majorly the women who flocks the school for medical support can be given that opportunity. I think I would be a happy person as I continue to grow and become of age with the time. That would be my gift to the community and to the mothers as well.
Very impressive. I know that my Rotary Club helped contribute towards the money to start the clinic at your school in Lira. You said it also serves the community as well?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so how many people from the community actually go there? And are there other hospitals or other medical facilities available in Lira?
Well, there are several medical facilities available, but the distance from the school to where the nearest medical facility is what caused my community to actually prefer coming to the school to seek immediate or first aid help before they trek 4 or 5 kilometers looking for the nearest health facility. The community on average, every term, every 3 months, we get over 300 coming because actually like 100 members of the community comes to the school on a monthly basis to seek first aid treatment and diagnosis.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to share today?
Well, thank you very much once again, David Jones, for this opportunity. I would like to first thank you for the opportunity to speak in your podcast and also to rally people who are generous in their giving to come support this cause. Because while you support this cause, you're not only supporting a life, you're transforming a community. You can support in various ways. You can give, commit your $100 towards the orphan children, scholastic materials, or feed these children, or provide them mosquito net, or even provide for us computers for the training, or you can come in to volunteer your time, your teaching. You can come and teach at the school. You can come and do medical service at the school. There are a lot of opportunities. So I invite you to come and join me in transforming the community in Uganda, and particularly northern Uganda, who has suffered the insurgency for over 25 years. And normally I tell people 90% of my life as a youth lived in the war. And I grew up hearing gunshots and trying to do everything possible to seek refuge. And if you could come over and do that and transform, help me extend my hand to this community who are in dire need of education standard, medical, and also economic empowerment, this would be an amazing step and a step towards transformative community of Northern Uganda.
Well, hopefully that will resonate with some of my viewers once I have viewers. I'm just starting my podcast now, but who knows where God may lead and what might happen. But hopefully it will be
So,
good things, and God is good. And all we can do is do our best every day and see what
absolutely.
happens. So thank you very much for joining on my podcast today. And I'll see you at our Toastmaster meeting next week. Bye, Bonnie.
Thank you. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Okay. Well, I want to